Probably
Yeah,
should do
Matt, you're
that as
still
well.
showing yourself.
Yeah. This is why I have you guys to keep me up. I've been sitting there playing, and everyone have been like, "Really? Are you doing this again?" This is actually the doing a Matt, really. You know, it's not missing stations. It's just not sharing the screen in the first place. Right. So, welcome to the Vectron.
So this is not a cashier system. I'm confused.
What?
Nobody got that joke. It's okay. It's like one of the most used cashier systems in like restaurants. It's called Vectron for some reason.
Yeah, no one gets that. Well, not in the UK. I think that might be a locale specific joke.
Okay.
Right. So I actually had some stuff sent to me that to help me understand the cool features to show actually. So what are we going to look at? So we have got the left screen here, which is showing brake information, throttle information, what power setting you're on. So if you click on one, you can change over for the Austrian, which is a setting for Railpool, Lucas.
That's a 15 kV, 15 kV.
Yeah, 80, 15 kV. So you'd switch to that once. Pantograph down, circuit breaker open, all that stuff. Change the power, and then you can raise it again. And actually, when you go over the neutral section at the border, you have to do this power switch over, from what I understand as well. So you'll have to, your neutral section or border crossing is a little bit more involved on this train. You can change your headlights here as well. So rather than being on the back of the loco, or there is a switch on the back of the loco as an override, actually you put them on here, and then a lot of the common presets are on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just set the 3 white lights on the front. You can see that's been clicked off. This is your AFB control, which is currently switched off. So if I go ahead and set AFB up to where I want it to be, which is right, before we actually do anything, we need to turn the cab on over here. So I need to, I've got that's better. I had the game audio turned off, so I couldn't hear anything. Right, so master key on. Now, one thing you're going to have to always remember is this train brake cutout switch. Make sure you've done that, and now you actually got control of the train. Put it in forwards, and oh, there you go. At some point, I pressed Control 5 and turned it off. Go me. Right, we need to got headlights. If we go on the outside, see we have lights, and that's all controlled off the screen. Now, one of the other things over on the right-hand side here, you'll notice that the speedometer defaults to on the right, and in a lot of cases that is where it defaults to. But you can actually toggle the screens around if you want to put the speedometer perhaps in a more traditional location. So it's up to you where you put these things a little bit, and how you can move things around. So there's a lot of stuff going on these screens actually. It's very cool. Yeah, safety systems. So part of what you can set up on here, under settings, you can set up your braking strength. You can set up PZB mode, brake mode, so GP and R can be set up on here. All sorts of stuff can be set up on here that I don't really understand. Lucas, are you in a better place to just walk through what all these settings mean?
Kind of. Yeah, so the top two is basically just braking power. You can, if you want to have a lighter version of e-brake, you can modify that there. The second one is the traction power. There will be trains in reality where it's a problem that you're not allowed to apply too much power, otherwise the couplings might break or so you can limit that. Yeah, that's the other is a limiter for the power you get from the OGLE. And yeah, PZB modus depends on the train. This one is M, that's correct. And so M is limited to 120 kilometers an hour, and we have different curves than in O, which is normally used for passenger trains. And yeah, the brake modes are fairly complicated. I think that Mr. William Green did a nice write-up on the forum somewhere, so
Yeah, so the
always
brake
keep
modes are
it up.
about brake timings. They're about how the rate of which things change their brake speed, and it's in order to what it's trying to achieve is that different vehicles at different weights will apply brakes at different speeds, and if you get it wrong, you could end up with wheels locking up and or things releasing in the wrong time, and this just effectively slows everything down to make it more evened out. G is quite restrictive, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's freight timings, so it takes a while.
So, I think we're in good shape. That's LZB. So we need to turn on safety systems. They, if I remember rightly, are here. D for PZB, LZB. We've got our parking brakes. This is your headlight override, but you really shouldn't need to worry about that. You've got the switch on the console. I think this is kind of for if the console's not working or something. And we've got some fuses which. Those, or there is no engine room. I know I've seen people asking about that. There is no engine room. You've got a number of controls down here, so aircon, which is obviously important, and fans and so forth. And then over here, wipers are over here. There you go. We've got the usual standing controls for doing your shunt maneuvers. Right. Okay. I think it's time that we get our backsides moving. Right, so I'm going to. I have to turn AFB on, don't I? AFB on.
RFB.
Now I can.
RFB.
Doing what? 60. Start with. So this is currently showing 70, and don't worry about that warning. I'll get to that in a minute. I need to be setting this to. Go with 50 to start off with, but then you press the top button there, which is also on, I think, Control R.
RFB. 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 RFB.
Shift R.
RFB. RFB.
There you go. Shift R's accepted it, or you can just click on the top. So you have to confirm your speed sets on this one, which is an interesting additional step. Meanwhile, we have a green light with 60 kilometers an hour at the next signal.
That's just a distance signal. A repeater, sorry. So,
Okay.
not the main.
So we can get moving. Right. Give it all the beans.
Zugbeeinflussung.
So that
Zugbeeinflussung.
doesn't cause trouble. So it's got some interesting handling that you might see if I drive badly enough, and if we get some rain or anything. It actually independently manages all of the traction motors, which means that they'll change and apply grip accordingly, independently, rather than all as one thing. So you'll see that sort of coming in and out as you go. So accelerating. I'm going to bump up the AFB speed now, just the one extra bit. So press R to go to 55, and then Shift R for 60. There we go, found it. Again, Shift R to accept it. We're rolling. Vectron time.
Yeah, so those are the new wagons in the background.
So the Janos wagons with the VTG livery.
Scarily similar to DG, and even blue. Wow.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Maybe opportunity for crossover at some point.
Acknowledge, man.
Zwangsbremsung.
Oh.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
So as you can see, PCB works beautifully.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
Well done.
They bought it.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
Look, all of this red on the screen. Talk about rubbing it in, man.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
Yes,
I'll do that
Matt doing
outside.
a
Zugbeeinflussung.
wonderful job of showing off all the safety systems.
Exactly. We've got to prove it works, otherwise there'll be doubt and conspiracy. And right, but there was also a request which I wanted to fulfil to do audio on the outside. So, you know, I'm here for you folks.
I'm gonna warn you that this route has the fun speed traps. So
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it.
shouldn't be that big of a problem with the freight train, but yeah. You'll manage.
Well, with me, no problem at all. I'll be like, oh, we're roaring along now, and because we're sitting there going, no, just no. You've got to wait for the brake pipe to recharge so that the brakes can release.
While we wait, if you're okay with it, we can go through a few questions.
Fire away.
Just scrolling through the forums right now. We had a few questions asking if we can enter the engine room of the Vectron, which I think is
No, we can't.
not possible. As well as, what was it? The seat height, is it adjustable?
No, but the seat height, Lucas, you think you adjusted the seat height as a result of some feedback, didn't you?
Yeah, so I lowered it by 8 centimeter, so that the freight driver is now not, I don't know, he doesn't come from the Netherlands anymore, he's now Italian. Yeah.
6 feet tall anymore.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Gotta say, the community has done a fantastic job answering a lot of the questions in the forum, so I'm having a bit of a hard time finding any questions that aren't answered yet. But if you're in chat and you have questions, fire away. I'll try to note them down whenever we have time. I'll go in there. Someone was asking if we can show the new lighting system, especially night lighting.
We are going
That's
to be
something
showing
we'll
night lighting,
do
yes.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, one drawback of the new OGD wires is that the new system only applies to wires and not not the wires for like the
Cross
headspan
wires.
itself. So we're gonna look at updating that in future routes. Well, not look, we're already making that, but I doubt that's gonna get backdated to other older routes, sadly. Time.
It already makes
Why
a big
didn't
difference though, being able to see the gantry, the overhead wires like that. It's yeah, they were always too hard to see. They vanished far too quickly.
I love Dresden. Such a good route.
It is. It's always been one of my favourites, and of course now there's more to do on it. Yeah, so for anyone's wondering about whether the route has changed, or it doesn't go to the airport, it's a pretty common question. No, the route itself hasn't changed. It's just been some fixes and improvements generally to the route. So for those of you that remember the high-speed reversing freight train, it is now a thing of the past and shall be consigned to myth and lore. It never happened. Any videos proving otherwise are wrong.
Yeah, some minor things were fixed. So there were a few areas where like was a gap on the Ocheli, and we reconnected that and got rid of that. Or some areas where there was a little grass growing through weird areas. So it got a slight bit of polish, but not too much.
We also fixed some of the achievements, if I remember correctly, for the 143.
Yeah, that was just a
related to
production.
the number of miles driven and that's in that tutorial not being completable, I think.
Yeah.
So yes, they should all be fine now. I was in monitoring Pamkalis, so I couldn't drive that fast. But I'm out now, so yeehaw. Just try and stop me.
Sure, the game will.
Many times. Starting to get some green lights ahead of us now. The two tones. So this is. I don't know if there is a foot switch, is there?
Not on this one. Oh no, there is one.
Of course, that triggered CFA, so. There you go, control space. Now I'll wait for the brake pipe to recharge again. So, yay. We almost got moving.
Gonna use the time for more questions. Will the Vectron have IC passenger services?
Not yet. There's a no, not yet.
Okay.
But I'm sure we'll reuse the Vectron model in the future.
I think because doesn't the Vectron, if I remember rightly, the Vectron comes with quite a large range of formations that that are based on other DLCs and so forth. And I'm sure I've seen screenshots will where you can use the Vectron with coaching stock.
In free roam you can, yeah.
And scenario planner, but not in the services. They've not been added in services like that. What do you mean broken, Pamkalis? It's all good. Just waiting for the brake pipe to recharge before the brakes are released, that's all. I'll put it on mini HUD a bit later on plugins.
Deep Blue is asking about the editor stream that was moved to next week.
Scenario planner.
Yeah, scenario planner and free remote will be previewed next Monday, September 18th.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't available on the stream as was originally planned, and we all had thought that it'd be better if we did it another day when we could do it justice.
And there will be more editor streams after release. So
oh yeah.
We're planning it.
I thought my 4-hour streams were bad. Wait until you see Lucas's 10-hour streams.
Yeah, I thought about that, what I'm gonna do, like to show off tracking signaling. The best would probably be that we We pick like a route, pick 3 stations, and completely build that.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
That won't be a short stream. That'll take a while. So maybe we can put up like a forum query about which 3 stations they want to see, or which 2, like 2 stations connected by a route.
Yeah, we recently changed the forum structure and added a section for the PC editor discussion. So we can certainly do something like that.
Yeah, I need to prepare LiDAR, so I need to know it before, but it should be fun doing something demo.
Changes, fixes to Dresden Reset, I don't think are applied to the TSW3 version. No, it's all been built on top of the rest of the changes because there's been quite substantial changes to the route. We'd hoped to try and do it on the TSW3 version, but it didn't pan out that way, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's the problem that the team switches over to TSW4, and that has major changes inside the editor. So when we do changes there, it's not that easy to just send it back, basically.
Yeah. Fortunately, I
Look,
stayed on TSW3, so a lot of the changes that I've been working on fixes have been able to be done on TSW3 and brought forward, but that's not how this has worked out, because there's quite a substantial change and the wider team needed to work on it. But as you can see, it's looking pretty with the new clouds, new lighting.
Oh, no, there's another gap. That's the old problem that's still haunting me.
I'm just going to go up to 100. Give myself plenty of buffer, give them a 120 limit. Due to being a freight train? Always. So let me look down this list that Mr. Green sent over and see if there's anything else. So wheel slip protects you in rain or snow. Each traction motor is independent. The target bugs will reduce if the slip continues. Traction motor shutdown feature. If you run with the throttle of dynamic brakes below 35 or 60%, so let's run them at 28%. After 15 seconds, 2 or 1 traction motor will scale back and shut itself off. Well, actually, one of them's already gone, look. And there you go, another one just went and it ramped up the other one. So it's actually, oh, that's really neat. I hadn't seen that work before. That's very cool. If I now reapply power, of course, because AFB is on, I'm running at the maximum speed, it won't take any extra power, so we're fine. But that'll work. So settings screen here, you can set the brake mode, GPR, PZB mode, UMO. You can also set maximum tractive effort or braking effort limits. Note that the PZB brake mode can't be set while running or if PZB is in restrictive mode. The braking effort limit starts at 150 kilonewtons but can be increased to 240. Makes a big difference and you can change it while running. AFB, the system can be enabled both while running or stationary. It's pretty much as standard. There are no extra requirements to enable while running. Here the flashing bug mechanic can be showed off. So yes, so what happens is you can see the AFB. If I now drop the target speed down, you can see how it's flashing. That means it's the new target, but it's not set yet. And if I press the Shift R key to acknowledge it, then it becomes the new target, and you can see the train is now beginning to change its speed to adjust to that. So yeah, if I now pop the speed back up to 100, you can see the flashing thing. Acknowledge it with Shift R, and away the train goes and catching up with it again. Train length button. So where is the train length button, Lucas? I said there was a train length button.
You mean, yeah, double click the throttle. Click, click. Oh no, the throttle. Your
There you
throttle.
go. So it's now counting down train length up here. Pretty neat. The headlight setup screen I've shown you. Change country or voltage I've showed you as well.
You can turn up the brightness on the screen in the middle, right? It'll look a little bit better in the sun. Oh. Down, below, yeah. Ella is brighter.
Go. So you can see we're actually now back on 4 motors again. So if I cut the power down to 16%, and then at some point after a few seconds you'll see it readjust the motors again. And neutral sections, you'll need to either manage the MCB yourself or wait for it and then reset it afterwards again. So fairly standard stuff there. Oh, let's cut the power entirely because it doesn't need it. Well, that's pretty neat. So yeah, that's just an idea of some of the sort of the more complex stuff going on inside. Oh, hello. It's decided it needs more power briefly. Stuff that you want to see, shout.
You should be allowed to go 120 here, not just 100.
I'm mostly just paranoid, to be honest.
Go.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
4-hour stream.
Oh no.
Is there a button on the controller to set and confirm AFB? Don't know the answer to that, Scott Rail. Hoping that someone will tell me. You just ask.
I actually don't know.
Listen, iPhone, stop correcting my words. There's nothing wrong with what I'm typing. You just don't know what an AFB is. You've got your AFB, you've got your throttle, you've got your blended brake, you've got your direct brake for your loco.
We got someone in the chat asking if there's going to be a manual for the Vectron.
Oh, what's a manual? I don't want to put words in James' mouth, but I believe he is putting something together, yes. Crossing over onto the high-speed line. If you don't remember the Dresden route, we've got Dresden down here, Neustadt turning round, Railpool sort of area there, and then you've got Coswig in this area here. This is the high-speed bypass line then that comes all the way up here. Then you've got the Meissen branch coming out here, and then these two converge back up. Head up, you've got Railpool Yard here and Risa up here. There's also something up here I can't remember the name of, which you start on in some of the services up on that way as well. So quite a lot of different places this route goes, which gives it a lot more of a networky sort of a feel. Got all the power going in there now. Yeah, you'll have seen driver assist popping up a few times here already tonight.
Yeah, the old chili here has a. You can see it's black from underneath. So there's a. I know what's going on. So I'll fix this. Patch.
Oh, Yazinga says they're kind of looking to create a bypass for that bypass. So that's good. It does get really busy, even on this timetable. That it's trying to squeeze the trains up and down the timetable is. So I can see why they need some extra bandwidth. We're going up this bit in a minute. Is it safer on this one based on your speed?
No.
I know some of them they go off more often when you're going faster.
Should still be every 30 seconds, correct?
Good question, but shouldn't be.
I might be imagining it.
There is a type of CIFA that has that.
Yeah, I know. My headphones are still pink Pamcalis, yes. These are the ones that are in the streaming room though. Shout if there's something you want to see.
Someone mentioned Swiss CIFA is time distance.
Is that where
So
it's
that's
I'm sure we've had time distance on other things because this is time, isn't it? And I think I'm
Should
sure
be
it's-
time, yeah.
I'm sure we've had time distance on something else. Again, might be imagining it. So we are going to do a nighttime, or is it night, or is it morning time, Lucas?
Very early morning.
Very early morning with a little light fog, so that you can see the volumetric fog and the night lighting on and so forth. So we'll be doing that. It's the last thing I think we're doing. We're just going to run from Dresden to Radebeul. That's massively lit up area of the route. Lots to see.
the sunscreens. Can you close the sunscreens on the windshield?
I mean expert mode.
There you go. Yeah, someone was asking in chat.
Hey, Kev Gamer UK. Interesting question. What is it about this game that keeps you playing? I'm going to throw that back out to the viewers. What keeps you playing, folks? I know what keeps me playing, but I'm here to tell you that. So, I mean, for me personally, what I enjoy about train simulation is, well, I really enjoy trains. They're actually really quite fun to drive. There's a lot going on. You can see, far from being a make it go, make it stop, there's an awful lot going on here, and they're a real challenge to drive. So, and different trains drive different ways, of course, and different routes make you have to drive those trains differently. There's just a lot to absorb and learn and understand. Yeah, it's great fun. Callis, how did you make the Scotsman sounds? Well, what we did is we found the Scotsman and we recorded it several times. It was, in fact, the last recording trip was this Sunday just gone. We had another recording trip. I'm not going to press buttons I don't understand training in 20, because bad things will happen, probably. I'm pressing the buttons I've been told to press. Oh, one of our motors is switched off. What is the screen in the top right corner for? So in reality, this would have a system called Ibula, which is your your train timetable, so you can see what things are coming up. But we don't have the that's not implemented. So you've got your speedometer and traction control, and over here you've got systems, engine low traction systems control down here. What's going on with the motors and brakes and so forth. Oh, there's a very, very big parallel between trains and planes, and a very big overlap in terms of audience as well. I was heavy into flight sims before train sims came out, but that was 23 years ago. So. Now I'm too busy with trains.
Pretty similar for me. I wanted to be a driver, but chronic illness said no, so I need to drive them here.
As a former conductor, I think it's just nice being able to drive a train without any passengers that act up. So yeah, it's a very peaceful experience compared to the real thing.
It can be very zen at times. It really can. Kev says relaxing but with a little bit of stress, and you can kind of dial that stress level, let's call it challenge, up and down depending on what you want. So I've got all the safety systems turned on. I don't have to do that. I can leave them turned off. They're just switches on the back panel, and then it doesn't sit there beeping at me every 30 seconds. And I've got, or you can ride. This is a relatively straightforward run, actually. Other than getting out of Dresden, where I had to pay attention to signals, it's been pretty much just a set it and forget it run. But other runs, there'll be more stuff going on. So it's you can kind of pick the experience that's going to be more or less challenging. Some trains, steam trains or freight trains, are going to be maybe a little more challenging. Something like a UK Electrostar running on East Coast Rail, London Brighton, probably not as challenging. It's going to be a lot more relaxing of an experience. So it's kind of like there's a bit of everything, and you can just choose what meets your needs at that moment. Some people I know like to have a blast on the LGV at 320 kilometers an hour, which is not a hard thing to do, but it's really enjoyable. Kev Gamer, is the scenery accurate? Yes, we couple, the definition of accurate varies to personal preference. It is intended to be an accurate representation of the area. The maps are a one-to-one scale replica of the real world, so all the track layouts, signals, all the scenery tries to recreate it one-to-one. So there are roads, fields, houses, trees, everything. Bridges should be all where they were. It might not be the right exact house, but there should be houses where houses are, for example.
Yeah, but roads and bridges and stuff should be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Everything that's important to the railway.
What is the fastest wiper say? So down here. There you go. Fastest wiper say. Joining back up with the main line soon. get
Yeah,
Jill to
yeah,
come and
like-
sort you out soon, Rogers, but you can keep up with them puns. Go on, Lucas, sorry.
You're in luck that your train is so slow. This is the place where you always fail. Speed trap avoided.
Well, yes, because it's the 160 to 130 drop, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's tempting to leave it till the last minute, but do you get obstacles on the track broken down trains? So some of the scenarios have some additional things that go on like that, but it's trying to replicate more of a normal day in the life experience, and certainly in service mode you won't really find broken down trains. Scenarios, for example, might have broken down trains that the system routes you round, or that you've got to go and pick up and return to a depot. There's an interesting scenario on East Coast Main Line, which we'll be showing next week, where the Azuma has got a diesel mode for self-rescue, and your train is technically broken down, and you have to switch it to diesel mode, and then rescue yourself into the depot, essentially, which is quite fun, actually. Let's switch to the mini HUD for a little bit then. So go into settings and accessibility and mini HUD. So you'll notice in mini HUD everything else is gone, and now I've just got a little bit of a summary of information in the top left corner. But otherwise than that, I am left to be reliant 100% on looking at what's going on in the cab. This is, given my concentration levels at the moment, probably not a good thing. Coming up to the what is it? This is a chemical plant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chemical plant over here.
One of the biggest in Germany, actually.
Some fun
After
shunting to be had down there.
Cuxhaven. Someone is asking if you can choose not to display the speed limit on the mini. Yes, you
You
can.
can.
There's a setting for that.
You can turn that off. You can turn the score off as well. There's a setting for that. I'm using Control 6 to do it, but there's a setting for it as well. There's quite a lot of configuration options now. If you just pop into settings under so accessibility, you've got things like the HUD type, whether you want to show the score. That's what I just showed you, showing the current speed limit, which is what we'll toggle it on the mini HUD. Then under HUD and gameplay, you've got whether you see the visual markers, whether you see the speed limit and speed aspects that are coming up. Next signal aspect will mean that you could see where the next signal is, but not what the next signal is. So again, that's another play. You might want to make it a little more difficult so that you don't know what the signal is according to the HUD. You've still got to pay attention, but you know there's one coming up in 800 meters or something. And then you've got the track monitor, which is the thing on the top right, giving you advance notice of the upcoming 2 kilometers, measurement, all the different units and so forth. So there's lots of different settings. Explore them and find the ones that work for you. I don't think there's any operable functions up here. Oh, no, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was asking for that. Yeah, so the Vectron is really widely painted local, so I'm sure we're gonna see lots and lots and lots of livery design.
Oh,
items.
yeah. It's good to get the Vectron in the sim. To be honest, it's such a staple now in German and in fact, European railways. That yeah, its presence was its absence was notable. They appreciated me for doing that.
Get ready to turn on flame speed.
Signs up.
Wait, is this?
I would like to see a science zone. I think you're a bit too late for that. We covered that earlier.
What version are we playing?
Shipping build. Cheers, Cave Gamer.
That's a bummer.
Someone know what the high speed for the Vectron is? Its top speed?
I don't know. I presume it's 100. Well, actually, I have no idea. Does it say 200? There you go.
Oh, there you go.
But these days, it's normally written somewhere in the cab. Not did I not meet the curve in time? Couldn't quite make it. Someone had me looking at speeds instead.
Sorry, this one's me. But this way we can show off the suspension to
There you go.
the person asking earlier. So, you know, actually, you're welcome.
Just once again proving that PCB has continued to work, and it wasn't a fluke that it worked at the beginning.
Zwangsbremsung. 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 Zugbeeinflussung.
Just down. I'm PCBM, so I'm okay for up to 120, and I was only doing 115, but clearly needed more brake. I only missed it by about 2 kilometers an hour. So. Waiting for the pipe to charge. At some point, the brake pipe will charge and it'll release the brakes. Your bogey brakes. Power applying. See the brakes and the bogies being released. That's to do our hill start. It's automatic hill start effectively. So even though the brakes haven't come off yet, just apply the brakes and they release once it's got enough power behind it automatically. Do the hazard lights work? Don't know. Doesn't look like they're doing anything like they should do, but...
I think you need to set your lights off, but I'm not sure.
Nope.
Do you have another question from chat if you're for it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is asking, are all pantographs the same design, or do they have their system-specific differences?
I'm not sure what this should look like, to be honest, so I will show you them. These look different to me. Not far to go now. PCB M, which is the mode I'm in, is up to 120. Bolt PCB O is 160. PCB U is 100. And as you can see in settings, I'm in PCB mode M. Crazy Killer, there's all sorts of things that could or might not be added to the track monitor. You know, we've added the core things. The original thing we wanted to do is to provide insight into the speed limits. That was the original reason for it. And then we thought it'd be good to add the signals, and sort of we stopped there. I mean, adding markers like platforms and sidings and so forth is another possibility. It needs a design, it needs thought, it needs testing. But yeah, there's more things we can potentially do, but it's not just a question of just throwing stuff on there, because it could also make it packed and confusing. So we need to see how that works.
Someone was asking what the special edition comes with. The special edition comes with all the core routes, so that's the training center, Antelope Valley Line, East Coast Main Line, then S-Bahn Vorarlberg, as well as the upgrades to Nahverkehr Dresden and the Flying Scotsman and Vectron, as well as the Linke Rheinstrecke, Southeastern High Speed, Boston Providence, and the LGV Mediterranee. And you get 5 days early access, 2 decal packs, the soundtrack, and some wallpapers.
Crazy Killer, I must admit, when we were looking at the track monitor design, I was more influenced by the old MSTS style one than I was even the TS Classic one, because I like the simplicity of the simpler view. And I think that's one of the things I really like about this, is that it's not added lots of stuff for me to have to look at, but it has provided a lot of value in terms of what it adds to the screen. For those that think it's providing too much, because obviously it's a cheat mode, you know, bluntly, you don't necessarily see this stuff in reality unless you know the route really well. It's a massive help if you're still learning to the route and so forth. So going into the yard at Risa. Yeah, the route monitor is the equivalent of route knowledge, yeah. Track monitor. Very much so. V signals, that isn't it?
That one was drive 60 and expect stop.
And you deactivate the brake on the brake, letting go electric brake landing. So yes. If you want the distance count in numbers, then you've either got the thing like I've got here, displayable, or you can just continue using the normal HUD. One of the things we particularly wanted with this one is to get rid of this chasing to zero element and actually get you more present in the cab, paying attention to where you are. So it's for that style of gameplay rather than for look at numbers going to zero. So you've still got the original HUD for that. Nearly at our stopping point in Risa. No, there isn't a setting to turn driver assist off bulb ads. The best you can do is turn off the tooltips, I think, which also turns off driver assist. We do want to add a setting to make it independent, but that didn't make it into the release.
One is asking if stop precision is still counting as much for the high score, which I think
Less
can
so.
use as a segue to explain the scoring breakdown.
Yeah, stop position is less important. So you can see we've got score breakdown now. It's the amount of points that it gives. Oh, I've got a platinum medal as well. Go me. The amount of points it gives is increased per quarter mile compared to what you were getting before. The amount of points you get for a station stop, for the accuracy of the stop, and for the how time accurate you were as well, is quite considerably reduced. It used to be up to 1,000 points, 500 each. It's now more like about 300 in total. Is the maximum you can get. So it's now all the more important that you have that you drive well along the way, and less important that you stop exactly in the right place, or that you stop, that you're on time. So if you're running a little bit late, then you can, should be fine. You don't have to start breaking speed limits to avoid massive penalties on your time. So that's kind of one of the things we tried to make is following the speed limit. The journey is more important than the exact stop on the station. If you're 10 meters either way of the stopping point, it's generally not the end of the world, but breaking the speed limit is not a good thing. So the game's tried to shift the balance so that better driving is rewarded better than crazy driving to meet the deadlines and so forth. So we're interested to see how that comes out, how that washes out as more people use it. But that's kind of the crux of it. If you run without safety systems, you get less points awarded. But you should still be able to get a gold medal without the safety systems. Platinum, you pretty much will need safety systems on to get platinum medals. Right, let's come out of that. Let's go to main menu. Interacting correct use of horns, whistles at board. So it is something being looked at, Crazy Killer. I don't know whether or not it will reach fruition. It's quite tricky because in the UK there are time of day considerations. The US, in Germany, you very rarely use the horn. And in the US, use the horn as much as possible in certain patterns that have to be matched. So it's kind of like there is no just blow the horn at a whistle board. It doesn't really work like that. There's rules to it, and if you're going to reward someone for just blowing the horn, it kind of like feels like somehow it should be rewarding the correct use of the horn rather than just smashing the space button at the appropriate time. But we're looking at what the options are for that. But as always, there's nothing easy about railways. Right. What was the service we were running next on the Meissen branch? I was just going to pick.
Yes.
This we're going to just use the 146.
Or daytime run, I think, is what I...
Let's pick something in the evening. Or late afternoon. Sorry. Meissen to Dresden. We're not going to run all the way to Dresden. We are going to run And maybe we'll chuck a little bit of fog in there, just a bit of daytime fog. And just wanted to show the branch line because so you can see how that looks. We're only running it as far as Coswig as soon as we join the main line, so it's a few stops. And then we're going to do a nighttime run out of Dresden. On.
It's foggy.
Very September feeling.
I should probably unlock the doors, let people do their thing. This service needs more Vectron. Might be right.
A few more questions from chat, if you're up for it.
Go for it.
Did the locos that come with Dresden Visa, sort of 146 and so forth, also get updated with the new rain effects, for example?
Believe the rain effects and also obviously all the lighting has been revised.
And how is API access coming along?
Haven't really got anything to talk to about that one at the moment. Coming along very well, but not in a position to go into more detail. It'll be post-release we start looking at talking about that. We've got to figure out the right way to explain that, and there's documentation and examples being put together. Yeah, no, it's coming along really nicely.
All right, thank you.
Come on, brakes, get off. We're not on the right route for the smiley signal. Assuming you mean the one on Vorarlberg that's a speed test, a speed trap.
No. There's a signal here. I'll show you.
I didn't even know there was one then.
Sifa.
Yeah, if you haven't taken a look at the branch at all, it's a beautifully scenic area, and there's a walkover in this area as well. Quite a long walk you can go, which goes across a bridge to a train spotting vantage point, which is really awesome.
Sifa.
People are asking for specific routes. There's still so many routes we can do, so many cities missing. So, you're not alone.
I mean, if I could have my way, I'd have some ideas for routes.
Everybody wants their hometown route. It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
quite trip. Oh, I didn't quite trip it though. I fixed this, but it's not in the build yet. It's super annoying. This will be a post-release update. I've gone through all of these. Lucas has fixed the stopping points on the stations, and I've fixed the service mode to use them. So it's coming, but it'll be a post-release patch again. We didn't quite get it done in time because the timetable needed more work to make it work together.
Same for the working neutral sections on this route.
Yeah. Go in. Bison next. Speeding. Go me. This is the train spotting point. It's just up on that hillside behind me. You can work your way up here eventually and watch the trains. It's a bit of a hike. You'll have to go and find the stream where we when we released the route, because we walked there and showed you what it looked like.
So at the next station, I'm gonna show you the smiley signal.
Okay.
You'll have to educate me on what that is.
Just a joke.
Yeah.
You know how in Germany, like in these little gardens, that often they put up like old railway signals that I just got from the railway somewhere, and did a homage to that.
Okay. There's, when you drive from Vienna Hütteldorf to the main station, there's all these small gardens along the track that are owned by ÖBB and are sold to ÖBB employees. And there's a lot of them have like old signals in them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt we'll still be here at 10 PM, Chris. Something's gone very badly wrong if that happens.
Yeah, Lucas and me are 1 hour ahead. It'll be 11 p.m. for us.
Lucas never sleeps, so it's fine for him.
My fiance won't be too happy. Like I'm streaming from our bedroom.
Sifa. Sifa.
I've got my peace and quiet. We can stream until tomorrow morning. It's okay.
You do what you have to. I'll peace out at some point.
I think Zornowitz's next station then is Coswig, if I remember rightly. This is the longer haul along the branch line.
Yeah.
Sifa. Sifa.
No alarms tonight. I mean, unless, who knows?
It was National Alarm Day today in Germany. 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah, it's
Everything
September.
Everything went
Yeah.
crazy, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I like my phone
Zugbeeinflussung.
put on a siren. Crazy. I think a lot of people didn't know because I saw a lot of people sticking their head out the window.
Does that work with all operators of phones? Because I don't know if you know, we did the test of the broadcast system on our phones in the UK the other week, and it turned out basically one of the operators didn't work with any of their phones.
Well, they did the same last year, and it barely worked. They did it again this year, and I think it now worked everywhere. So it's in progress.
I mean, Austria, it's still all air horns and sirens. There's no phone system yet, I think.
Yeah, that's why they do it. Get it working.
Got there eventually.
Now, if you look out to the left in the gardens back there, right? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Wrong direction. To the right now. That garden area, fly down there. Zoom in. There's a signal back there. Yeah, but you need to fly to the right to see it.
Oh well.
There you go.
That's appropriately silly.
Never.
It's a little Easter egg.
I like that. I like that a lot. I drive these routes on my eyes closed, training.
Zugbeeinflussung. Zugbeeinflussung.
Someone's asking, can we expect a support for NVIDIA DLSS soon.
It's on the list to look at, but I'm not going to go ahead and make any promises. If we have an update for you, I'll let you know. But DLSS and FSR are definitely something we want to look at, but I can't give you a time frame on that. So assume the answer is no until we tell you otherwise.
And can we use the Vectron for passenger service? Technically, yes. If I remember correctly.
In free roam
You
Exterior
can.
Planner, you can make your own. We do
Yes.
provide formations, as long as you've got all the required DLC to make it work, which would be the BL 101 and Hauptstrecke Rheinrock, because 101 needs that. Memory serves.
Someone else is asking why the top speed isn't 230. There are different versions of the Vectron, and this version has a top speed of 200.
That's a key thing to remember. Vectron is not one train. Vectron is a platform, the same as Trax is a platform, and there are lots and lots of different settings, setups, capabilities. The cabs are different. Same as, again, if you look at Trax cabs, they vary depending on what you're looking at. So, and the same is true of the Vectron. There's a wide range of different Vectrons doing different things with different needs for different operators. So you can't just Google Vectron and know you're looking at the same thing.
Yeah, even between Austria and Germany differs, or the Czech Republic, different needs.
Sifa.
We're finally reaching Cosmic.
Zugbeeinflussung.
We should do more East German stuff. It's fun.
Sifa.
Here to ruin your day.
Matt, you're late.
I know. For Englishmen driving in German railways, you know? I'm on time as far as I'm concerned.
I was about to say, yeah, you're a minute late. That's pretty much on time. Germany. 2 minutes, okay. Still, that would be considered early for some trains.
I mean, in the UK, turning up is considered early. Two coming in there. And that's it. They're only going to drive to Cosmic because you've basically seen the rest of the route from this point. We've already done that. So yeah, we've driven the Meissen branch along here, and then earlier on we came up and ran up the high-speed section up round that bit. So I think it's time to head back and do a little bit more Vectron. Now, my instructions. Got an answer to the controller question, but it was on the keyboard, so I'm trying again. Spammed me since I started. There we go. On Teams, you sent the message. There we go. So it is 36783. So choose a route. Dresden. Vectron. 36783. Weather.
Just,
Fog. Cloud level. Is that about right?
yeah, why not?
I don't know. Why not? Okay, so let's get our headlights set up. Probably got a key in first, haven't I? Donkey.
Would help.
Oh,
There you go.
remember, don't forget that drain brake cutout. Nothing's going to happen usefully if you do not do that. The light is that now. Let's get this flipped over and shape. So let's brake. Right there. Let's not release the brake.
Wait a second.
Brick yellow. It's actually a red. Many repeaters.
Mm. The rules for designing chaos system areas. So many repeaters. It's so bright. So bright.
Right, that's better. Got a green. Good to go. Coming up, brakes coming off. And yeah, I haven't turned safety systems on because I forgot. That's fine. That's not what this is about.
I really like the volumetric fog. It really looks good. Gotta say.
Yeah, I love when the tech artist first showed me the screenshots of it. I'm like, I want that really much.
Ollie 610 asking, can you use the Dostos with the Vectron with the formation designer? You can. So technically, yes.
Except they don't have
Maybe
a formation
even-
designer yet.
Not yet.
Maybe even without. Let me check.
Eventually, yes.
I remember placing down those doors with Vectron, I think.
There's another area here, wasn't it? That's lit up now that wasn't before. The old cigarette factory.
Yeah, I've just added some light to it. That's crazy. After Dresden, bitte.
I was saying we should add Halloween costumes during October to the NPCs, which I think is a fantastic idea. Not sure how feasible that is, but I like that idea. It's a thumbs up for me.
$60.
Yeah, stream on night time is not so fun.
Yeah,
So,
the bitrate doesn't do very well with nighttime streams.
No, that's one of the reasons we don't normally do a nighttime stream, but we wanted to show show it off at least so you could see it.
Yeah, so obviously because we have fog, the Dresden city on the right now is not that visible because of fog, but it's still lit up nicely. Same with mice. And nighttime is best to experience on your own.
I'm watching it on Twitch actually while we run it, and it's coming through really nicely on Twitch. So
Okay.
Nice. Maybe we can look into like sharing some nighttime screenshots in high resolution. If it's possible. Because I think it's worth showing off. It looks very nice.
Dresden Neustadt looks really good. Looking to that now. That one looked great before, but with the volumetrics, it just looks really good.
I'm not sure what other routes the Vectron subs in on training. I've not actually looked. It's officially supported on the Railpool line and Dresden line. That's where we've actually added content for it. I'm not sure. Do you know what other routes it's sub in on, Lucas?
Oh, wait, let me check. So, yeah, basically everywhere where you have a freight logo, like, so that if you have, for example, like Hamburg-Lübeck and you want to drive freight there, you can use the Vectron. If you have Dresden Chemnitz, you want to drive freight, you can use the Vectron. So everywhere where it has a single freight logo, it'll sub into. Not left Rhine, of course, but on stuff.
You can drive the Vectron instead of the 365. Yeah, it's definitely a good fit on the old Nedotile line, Trennan. It's totally in keeping with the era. Free roam is your friend.
I mean, we have Vectron. There are Vectrons with last mile diesel, I think. So,
but not this one, just to be clear.
yeah.
Work in the time travel scenario.
Done that, haven't we?
I need to.
Oh no,
read
that was the
time
ghost
travel.
one.
The ghost one, yeah. Ghost/time travel.
Just pulling the camera out to the back so you can see more clearly everything, sort of the surrounding area. Everything looks a little ghostly in the fog. This fog always makes me feel really cold.
Did you want to do a full run to Rudder or stop here at Rudderboy?
We were just going to stop at Rudder Out. Oh, sorry, we're going to stop at... Oh, we've stopped. Yeah, where was Rudderball? We've gone past it.
No, you're about to come up to it. Need to start braking. Throw the anchor.
Anchor thrown.
Alle Hebel zu mir.
I gather then you can just click that. Electric brake blending. So if I now cut the... Go, look, see. So having done that, I've now got no electric brake. I think it's that. It'll easy electric brake. So, yes, what you asked earlier on, I think Bolt is possible. It does work. I guess we'll stop here. This will do. Quite a nice little scene.
Yeah,
Rains in the fog. Vectron. It's completely dark and you can't see it. So there you go. Enjoy that. Look, it's brilliant. Perfect looking train.
Camouflaged.
Amazing. Right, there you go, folks. I think that is it for tonight's preview stream. So thank you very much for watching. Lucas, Jan, is there anything else